And we are live. So, hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Analyst Call. Today, we have got a very interesting episode for you. We have been doing some episodes on cryptocurrency, and you guys seem to love it. So, we'll do the same. We'll talk about cryptocurrencies today as well. But then today, I've got a very special guest for you. So, let's welcome our guest. So, hello, Mr. JC. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. How's it going?
Going great, going great. How are you doing, sir?
No complaints. Happy Friday.
No complaint. Oh, okay, fantastic. Now, not that this man needs an introduction, but then if you're someone who's been living under the rock, let me tell you. So our guest today is JC Parets, founder and chief market strategist of All Star Charts. He has been one of those people who have actually helped popularize technical analysis. He has got his work published in various business channels like CNBC, CNN, Bloomberg, Yahoo Business, and many more, just to name a few. So today we'll learn a lot about cryptocurrency market. We'll get a complete outlook of cryptocurrency market with the help of JC. But before that, in the meanwhile, while people are joining us, while people are still tuning in, let's go through some recent happenings of the crypto world. Now, during the last week or two, crypto market has been was going sideways actually. Today we have seen a huge correction in the crypto market. Today the market has been bleeding bad. It's been red. Bitcoin is at 38,500 rupees, which is more than 8% of correction in just 24 days. Ethereum has been at 2,800 levels, which is more than 10% correction of the days. Now there are a lot of reasons for this. We'll go through it. Now the primary reason for this huge correction is because of the Feds. The US Feds has been and will announce. There's a speculation that the Feds might increase the interest rates again, which is leading to a huge selling pressure in the cryptocurrency market. Other than that, there's a civil unrest in Kazakhstan. Now, I know that Kazakhstan might not sound very important to you in the world of crypto, but let me tell you, after USA and a crackdown on cryptocurrency by China, Kazakhstan is actually one of the biggest miners of cryptocurrencies. And but other than this negative news, we have seen a lot of happenings in the cryptocurrency market. The theme coins like Dogecoin and Shiba Inu has been flying in the last 2 weeks, basically because Tesla has announced that they will accept Dogecoin. They will accept Dogecoin as a payment for merge of Tesla. But then again, because of such huge selling pressure in the overall market, these positive points has been digested and has been booked with profit, and these profits have been corrected in the market yet again. So Dogecoin was found because of the Tesla news, and we are yet to see, talking about Indian perspective, we are yet to see the bill on cryptocurrency, which has led to a lot of unrest in the crypto enthusiasts in India. There's still speculation that we might see a bill on cryptocurrency in this winter season parliament, but then we didn't. Now there's an expectation that we might see the cryptocurrency bill in the budget 2022-2023. Now these were the recent happenings of the cryptocurrency world, the fundamentals, the news. Now let's directly jump into it. Let's talk about the technicals of it. So JC, this is where you come in. So JC, before we take a deeper dive into different coins, let's look at the whole picture, a holistic approach to the cryptocurrency market. So we have noticed that there's a lot of correction. There's a lot of correction in the months of December and January for the past few years. And we are noticing the same thing this year also. But then do you think that the market is currently following the same pattern, because this time the market has been bleeding really bad? So do you think the market will be able to recover from here? What's your major outlook of cryptocurrency market for the year 2022?
Yeah, I mean, listen, cryptocurrencies are in a bear market. That's not anything new. The worst of all of the cryptocurrencies you mentioned, like Shiba Inu and Dogecoin, those have been in very strong bear markets for a long time.
JC, just to interrupt you, sorry to interrupt you, but then can you please bring your mic a little? You're not that audible to me. Maybe
no problem.
Or the audience, if you can help me with it. Is it just me, or are you also facing some audio issue?
No, whatever it is that you need, all good. Let me just make sure that I've got the right.
Okay, just check your mic setting once. That would be great. Yes, Avinash is saying that there is a small issue with it.
Yep, we're all good. How's that? Better? Is that better?
A little bit better.
Okay, terrific.
Is there any?
Turn it up here. Hold on.
He's audible. Okay. You are audible. You are good, JC. You
How
are
about
good.
that? Better?
Okay then.
Is that better now?
Yeah, it's better now. Sorry
All
for the
right,
interruption.
terrific.
Please continue.
So, cryptocurrencies have been in a bear market for 7-8 months, really since May of last year. That was really the peak. And then ever since then, the majority of them have been selling off. The worst ones, you mentioned Shiba Inu and Dogecoin, some of these others, they've just been going straight down ever since. Sure, a little bit of a bounce, but then they roll over and make new lows. But those have been the worst ones. Some of the better ones, things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, they got back up to those May highs after that crash into the summer, and then they rolled over again and failed. So even the strongest ones seem to be failing. You look at things like Luna, and look at things like Near Protocol, and some of these that are above their first half highs, but they're very, very few. Even more recently, it's really been, if the cryptocurrency is not above the first half highs from last year, you cannot own it, right? It's been that simple. So we've been able to avoid a lot of damage by just being disciplined, ignoring all of the stories and all the fairy tales that they tell in the news, HODL, diamond hands, all that stuff. Those aren't real strategies. Those are memes. They're two different things. So we want to recognize the type of market environment we're in and then act accordingly. And cryptocurrencies have been in a bear market for quite some time now, 7 months, I believe. Check my math. So if you're a short-term swing trader where you're holding on to these things for a day or 2 or 3 days or something like that, fine, then you might not care about the overall structure of the market. But very few people are day traders. I personally don't know any old day traders, right? So for normal people who look at things, at least looking out weeks and months and even quarters, there's really no reason to have been in most of these cryptocurrencies for quite some time now.
Right. Got it. So for someone who's thinking about creating a new position in cryptocurrency market, so we understood that what should people who are holding some coins should care about, but then people who are thinking about creating new positions in the market, do you think is it advisable now, or they should wait it out?
Well, everybody's different. And I'm never going to tell someone what to do. We're all grown adults. You can do what you need to do. For us, if a cryptocurrency is not above the first half highs from last year, you cannot own it. There's nothing to do there, right? So the only areas that we would even consider taking a new position on would be any cryptocurrencies that are above the first half highs. And even then, they're very, very messy. So personally, for us, we are in almost all cash with respect to cryptocurrencies. And I've had I've had up to 100% of my portfolio in cryptocurrencies. And right now it's almost zero. So I'm just not seeing opportunities there right now. If BTC is above 41,000, I know you mentioned 40,000, 41, 40, 40, 40, 41, that area.
Right.
If we're above that, that would be constructive. That would be the first sign of, hey, maybe things aren't so bad. But the reality of the matter is the higher probability outcome here is another retest of 30,000. And if we retest 30,000, we're probably going to 20,000. So there's just no bottom in sight in most of these cryptocurrencies. Even the best ones like Bitcoin that have held in the strongest, just no sign of strength whatsoever. Nobody seems to want them. So until there's evidence of demand around the world for these cryptocurrencies, I don't see any reason to bother with them. I think you're probably better off in other asset classes.
Right, got it. Now, before we proceed ahead, audience, if you have any question that you want to ask JC, feel free to comment down below. We'll answer your questions at the ending of the show. Okay, so now let's move on to the mother of cryptocurrency coin, which is Bitcoin. Now, as I mentioned earlier, that the major support point of cryptocurrency of Bitcoin, which is 40,000 USD, has been broken. The coin is trading at 38,500 level around, and it's corrected more than 8% today itself. So what is your outlook on Bitcoin specifically?
Yeah, probably 30 next. And then what ends up happening is that if we test 30, there'll probably be some support there temporarily. But that is now the 4th or 5th time that we test 30. And the more times that a level is tested, the higher the likelihood that it breaks. So a break of 30 will probably take us to 20. So Bitcoin can very easily get cut in half from here after it's already been cut in half once. So, the way I learned it is that bottom fishing can be very hazardous to your wealth, right? So that's what's going on here. If you're buying Bitcoin, you're bottom fishing. You're trying to catch falling knives. And, historically, that's not ever a good strategy. There's an old lie on Wall Street that only fools believe, that you want to buy low and sell high. And that's silly. You want to buy high and sell higher. Right? That's how to make money. Buying low and selling high, that's never going to work for you. You want to buy high, sell higher. So if you're trying to buy something in a downtrend, you're doing the exact opposite of buying high and selling higher. I don't know what you're doing personally. So, if we're below 40, 41,000, there's no reason to be in Bitcoin. The risk is to the downside. Like I said, 30 next, probably 20 after that.
Right. So if you're someone, very well said, JC. Catching a falling knife is never a good idea. A lot of people do believe in buying at support, but then that's a very, very risky trade. And now that Bitcoin has actually broken the support point of 40, JC, you think the next support level will be 30 USD?
Yeah, that's probably next. That's where we held in the summer. That's where we held on the first correction early last year. But again, just because we get to 30 doesn't mean it's going to stop there. In fact, my bet is we probably break 30 also and head to 20. And that's the best case scenario, I think. So, like I said, if we're below 40, 41,000, there's no reason to own it. How low can it go? I don't know. It can go to zero. I don't know. I really don't care because I'm not in it. There's no reason to be in it. So, I have no idea how low it's going to go, which is why I don't own it. If I knew how low it was going to go, then I would feel more comfortable maybe owning some or looking for a place to buy. Right now, there's no bottom in sight, so I'm not really in any rush at all. I'd rather go go have a nice dinner and some rasmalai for dessert and get a good night's sleep than trying to be in that mess.
Right. Got it. Very well said, JC. But then, JC, let's take an example. Suppose the market takes a reversal from here.
Yeah.
So let's take a consideration that cryptocurrency market does take a reversal from here. So between Ethereum and Bitcoin, do you think Ethereum will be able to outperform Bitcoin this year, or will Bitcoin outperform Ethereum, considering that Bitcoin has been lacking as compared to Ethereum for quite a while now?
Yeah, you could really see that it's been in a consolidation really since May. So the cryptocurrency markets peaked in May. That's when Ethereum stopped outperforming Bitcoin, right? It's really been a sideways mess with no real edge owning Bitcoin or owning Ethereum. They've been trading sideways. So one's doing well, the other one's doing well also. At this point, the higher probability outcome is that if cryptocurrencies continue to sell off, Ethereum will underperform Bitcoin like it has so far this year. Ethereum has been a major underperformer of Bitcoin. If cryptocurrencies remain under pressure, which I believe that they will remain under pressure, then Ethereum is likely to do worse than Bitcoin. Number one. Number two, you asked me, what if there's a reversal? What if something reverses, and Bitcoin is able to get back above 41,000 and the market stabilizes and all of those things happen? That's a possibility, right? Of course. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm not betting on that to happen, but I've been doing this for 20 years and I'm open-minded. I saw crude oil trade below zero, so nothing's going to surprise me anymore, right? I saw Bear Stearns and Lehman Brothers and some of the biggest banks in the history of humankind disappear overnight back in 2008. So like I said, nothing surprises me anymore. So yes, we can get a bottom. Again, that's not what I'm betting on, at least not yet. But if we do bottom out here, let's say right now, and Bitcoin gets above 41,000, in order for me to make the bet that Ethereum's going to be the outperformer, you got to be above the May highs in the ratio between Ethereum and Bitcoin. If you're not above the May highs in that ratio, the trend is down.
Got it. So the rationale remains the same. If the coins are able to cross the level of May, then all you can create a new position. If not, then we are still in the bear situation. Now, JC, you mentioned that Bitcoin and Ethereum both have been in the sideways for quite a while now. So other than these, are there any coins that you are bullish about?
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's again, if the coin is not above the May highs, there's nothing to talk about, right? There's nothing at all to talk about. So I'm looking at Near Protocol. If that is above 13, we can own it. I don't see any evidence that 13 is going to hold if these cryptocurrencies are going to continue to sell off. But that is one level. If we're above 13 in the Near Protocol, I also think that just pull up the chart. I also think Cosmos is interesting. So that is Atom, ATOM. We have yet to break out, just to be clear. That breakout level is going to be around 45. Right now we're at 36, so we're nowhere near that. We were near 45 just a few days ago, but we're nowhere near 45. But if like you said, let's say cryptocurrencies bottom out, Bitcoin gets back above 41, volatility stabilizes. What's the strongest one out there? Cosmos is probably one of the strongest, but we only want to be long if we're above 45. Below 45, you can't own it. You got to be long only above 45. And those are probably the strongest ones that I see.
Right, got it. Now, so JC, we have shared this particular episode on our social media, and we have got a lot of questions from our viewers.
Shoot.
Right. So, if you allow me, can I ask you certain question related to coin specific?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. And please feel free to share your screen if you want to. That's not an issue at all.
I have
the
the charts on a different computer, so I could just walk through it.
Okay, sure, not a problem. So now Cardano has been actually performing quite well recently, but then again, because of the whole sell-off in the market, the increase did get digested. So can you please give your opinion on Cardano?
Yeah, Cardano has not been acting well recently. Cardano has been one of the worst cryptocurrencies in the entire world. With some of the stronger ones pushing up against new all-time highs. This one continues to push down against 52-week lows. So that is the exact opposite of strength. This is a good example of the types of names we want to stay as far away from as possible. If we're going to be long cryptocurrencies, we want to own the strongest ones, not the worst ones. And this one's in category with the worst.
Got it. Yeah. There's a lot of questions related to Algorand. Algorand has been quite in the buzz recently. So if you can give your opinion on that.
Yeah, again, talk about one of the worst cryptocurrencies in the world, just making new multi-month lows. This is the exact opposite of the things that we want to own. This is making literally lower lows and lower highs. That is the definition of a downtrend. So there's just no reason at all to be in this mess. I mean, it looks terrible. If you want to own it, maybe if it's above 140, maybe you can own it. But I mean, who knows if it ever gets up there ever again. I mean, this thing looks terrible. I think it's probably going down to 66, 67 cents next on the Algorand. But there's no reason to own this if it's below $1.40. And even if it's above $1.40, it's still messy. So you really need to see a lot to convince me that we want to be buying any of these. Again, on the Algorand, this thing could get cut in half from here pretty easily.
Right. So the people holding Algorand, please be a little cautious. Other than that, so we have touched upon Shiba, a few minutes back, but then again, if you can help us with the levels.
Yeah, again, one of the worst in the world. I mean, these continue to be shorts, not things that you want to own. I mean, this thing, all it does is go down. It doesn't do anything else. It just goes down. You wake up, it goes down. You go to sleep, it goes down. You wake up the next day, it goes down some more. Like, those are just not things that you want to own.
Yes.
So, I don't know, maybe there's so many zeros in the Shiba. So, I'm really, just to be clear, I'm looking at the January highs. You really want to be above the January highs. Let's call it, the January highs. Those are the levels. If you're below the January highs, you can't own it. There's just nothing to do there.
Right.
The January highs are the levels. Below the January highs, you leave it alone. Where can it go? It go to zero. I mean, there's no evidence at all that this is an uptrend. It's been in a strong downtrend for 3 months now. So it's not anything new. The fact that it's making new lows today shouldn't be a surprise. It'll probably make new lows tomorrow. It's what it does. It makes new lows. So if it's below the January highs, then you just stay short. There's no reason to be long.
Right. In fact, a lot of these memes coins have been taking a lot of hit recently. As I mentioned earlier, Dogecoin, then Shiba Inu, these memes coin has been taking a hit recently. Now, let's take another question. Matic. Let's talk about Matic. JC, can you please help us about the levels of Matic?
Yeah, listen, a lot of smart people are always asking me about Matic. I think that certainly has potential, certainly had potential, but like so many coins, if it's not above the May highs, you can't own it, right? It's in a downtrend. If you're below the May highs, you can't own it. And this is still below the May highs. It got close about a month ago. It got close to potentially breaking out, and it failed, just like everything else, making new lows as we speak. This is still a downtrend. Unless we're above the May highs, you can't own it. It's a good rule of thumb with cryptos.
Right. So now that the chances of a reversal are quite shy in a lot of cryptocurrency coins, do you think is it safe, or for the people who have a higher risk appetite, is it still okay to short this particular coin, or do you think it's still the risk to reward ratio is very, very unfavorable?
Yeah, listen, if Bitcoin is below 41,000, I think you could be short. Above 41,000, I don't think you want to be short. So yeah, I think you can short it. If you want to short it, go ahead. Yeah, sure.
Got it. Now let's take the last question of the day. So during the live session, we have got a question from Deepak Singh. He's asking your opinion on which coin can be considered as the Ethereum killer. Do you have an opinion on this, JC? Do you think there's any other coin that can be considered as the Ethereum killer?
It's just not my area of expertise. I don't know anything about smart contracts or protocols. Like, I watch YouTube videos at night sometimes for fun, that's the extent of my knowledge. So when you talk about Ethereum killer, that doesn't mean anything to me. You're better off asking somebody who knows more about that stuff. And I have friends, and I do ask them, and we talk about Cardano, we talk about, some of these others, but Solana, right? But it's, for me, it's not my area of expertise. I can tell you what my friends tell me, but I don't know if that's true or not. I have to trust price. And some people tell me Cardano's the Ethereum killer, and then I look at the price of Cardano, and I'm like, probably not. They say, oh, Solana's going to be the Ethereum killer. And then I look at the price of Solana. Probably not. So, for me, it's less about who's going to be the Ethereum killer and more about which cryptocurrencies should we buy that we think go higher. That's really my main interest, not so much, who wins the smart contract, competition or whatever,
Right. I 100% agree with you, JC. A lot of people seek what can be the next Bitcoin killer, the next Ethereum killer, the next Doge killer. But then again, if your objective is to make money, then
Doge is just killing themselves, killing their shareholders, I think is what Doge is doing.
Right. Right. That's hilarious, JC. Doge is actually killing its investors. So people who want to make money, don't go for this approach, don't go for this, but rather just look at the coins that you think can be pushed in the midterm and are suitable to your risk appetite. With that being said, we have come to the end of the show. JC, thank you very, very much for joining this. It was a pleasure to host you here.
Yeah, anytime. Listen, I encourage everybody to keep an open mind. Markets don't move up or down. They move up and down, right? Know your levels. Know where you're going to get out before you even get in, right? What does the market need to do to invalidate your thesis? Let's say you're like, oh, this JC guy doesn't know anything. I'm still going to buy the Dogecoin, or I'm still going to buy the Shiba, or I'm going to buy this. Great. You do whatever you want, right? You're a grown adult. What I encourage you to do is to make sure you stay disciplined and you identify what the market would need to do to prove your thesis wrong and stay disciplined. So it's not so much about what I think or what I'm doing. It's more about what you think and what you're doing. But the fact of the matter remains the same. Risk management is the key to all of this. What does the market need to do to prove your thesis to be invalid? And if and when the market does that, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to get out, or are you going to start praying?
Right. Very well said, JC. Thank you very much. And for our viewers, thank you very much for tuning in. If you found it insightful, if you want to learn more about it, then do follow JC. His socials are linked down below, and I'll see you in the next episode of Analyst Call. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Adios.
Adios.